seen that in the agriculture sector? I mean, there's been a lot of talk about farm laws and things like that over the last couple of years. So where's the disconnect coming from?
So again, I must emphasize, this is not something that we can only say we are witnessing in the current, government's tenure.
Yes, absolutely.
I can say, and having served in the government at that time, that at least for 3 decades, there has been no strategic thinking in agriculture. We've seen agriculture largely as a transitory sector where, households will send off their surplus or, additional members to join the service or the industry sectors. But we've seen that has not happened.
Yeah.
Because that's a very classic, rebalancing of the economy model, which economists have been talking about for something like 50, 60 years. That as a country develops, the share of population in agriculture reduces, they move on to employment in industry, services, and agriculture becomes viable because there is more unit of land per household. It is not happening today. As I said, we've actually seen a reversal, though a minor one.
Yeah.
We had gone down to about 43% of labor dependency on agriculture, which has gone back to around 45%, which means that agriculture has absorbed labor which was displaced from industry. That happened because of COVID, of course.
Yeah, that's an extraordinary event, but still.
But
the point
that is, many of those units could not be revived, and they closed down permanently, so that labor has remained in agriculture. So I would say that this is a larger political economy problem, right? It can't be simply a problem which can be put in the domain of agriculture policy making. The larger development model that we seem to have adopted is that we will have a kind of capitalist model, and there will be a kind of growth in industry and services, which will suck labor out of agriculture. And for 30 years, that doesn't seem to be happening. So we should, I think, revisit this whole assumption or series of assumptions that goes into this kind of policy. My personal experience, I'm not an economist, number one, so I will be forgiven for trampling into the domain of the specialist. But whatever I understand, there is a huge amount of suppressed value in agriculture. And that suppression is because of policy.
Okay.
Right? Government policy actually suppresses prices in agriculture. And economists understand this. And they say that it may be necessary for a while. Maybe it is, I don't know. But that suppression has led to lower consumption. Consumption of what? I mean, what do rural households consume with their income? They are growing the food, so they don't need to buy food, but they'll buy manufactured goods.
Yeah.
They also want to buy clothes, shirts, televisions, refrigerators, motorcycles, right? That means who's suffering that suppressed demand in agriculture? It is the manufacturing sector.
True.
Right? So there's a vicious cycle here. Because of the suppression of agriculture prices, demand rates suppressed, the economy as a whole suffers. Can you have completely unregulated, shall we say, markets in agriculture? Certainly not. I don't think anybody would say that markets need no regulation. Look, if stock markets need regulation, capital markets need regulation, labor markets need regulation, so agriculture markets also need regulation. But today that regulation is a tool basically to keep prices within certain bands.
Yeah.
Right? And prevent the farmer from realizing a demand-supply based pricing discovery, right? If that were to happen, and I don't think it can be done overnight, but I think we can have a pathway towards that.
Yeah.
And there will be some people who will get affected and they should be taken care of. There are people who will, because of the inevitable rise of food prices, will suffer. We should take care of them. There should be public instruments, whether it's PDS, cash transfers, free food. I'm all for it. But I think that the potential of agriculture to generate higher value should be allowed to be unlocked.
Yeah.
And For a while, it will actually create more jobs. It will attract the young back into agriculture. A lot of other things have to be done. We'll have to create skilling. We'll have to make technology the driver. Today, when you and I communicate with someone, technology is driving it.
Yes.
Look at the cell phone. I belong to the generation that did not even have functioning landlines. When I began the service as in Bastar, I did not have access to a telephone. There was only a local telephone in that little village where I was posted. To talk to the district headquarters, I had to go to the police station and use the police wireless in an emergency. It's only later that STD and all these things came, and now you take it for granted. You can talk to anybody from anywhere in the world. When you travel abroad, we are carrying our phone, and people are calling us with local tasks.
Yeah.
They don't realize that we are abroad. So we have to make technology the central part of agriculture going forward. And I hope to see that. Still, I'm still very, very hopeful that we will be able to harness the immense potential of our agriculture sector, led by technology. Look, the Green Revolution was also led by technology. At that time, it was the cutting edge technology. It was the AI of that time. When the first, demonstrations were made, farmers said, we can't understand, it's too complicated. It's not for us. हम जैसे बाप दादा की खेती करते थे वैसे ही करेंगे. But scientists, extension workers with patience explained to them that no, it's not difficult to master. And today it's second nature to farmers. You don't have to tell any farmer in India who grows paddy that first you have to have a nursery, and after how many days you need to take it to the field, when to irrigate. He knows that in his sleep.
Yeah.
Okay? But if we want him to undertake, let's say, cultivation of capsicum or broccoli, because market is today rewarding those, we'll again have to teach him the technique of these crops.
Yeah.
It will only require 1 or 2 seasons of support. And I don't think today we need to hire an army of people to go to the field. That was the only thing at that time. So the government hired lakhs of extension workers. Today I don't see that happening. But today maybe we need to invest in technology where the farmer can simply on that family cell phone, be able to access that latest knowledge.
Not even.
Easily, reliable knowledge. He should be able to discover prices. Where is the best market around me where I should sell it? He should be able to contact buyers. So I hope that we'll be able to. There are some people working at it, but it is not happening at scale. What we need is in the next 5 to 10 years, we need to see scale deployment of technology in agriculture to repeat the Green Revolution experience, and what I call move towards an evergreen revolution. Because today, the sustainability challenge in agriculture is far more than it was at that time. At that time, we didn't have the same population. We didn't have the same pressure on land and water resources. Today, those are all constrained.
Yes.
So now we have to achieve the next revolution within these constraints. We can't do anything major about climate change. Let's face it, it's going to happen at the pace. But we can, with today's knowledge, cope with it better. Take that knowledge quickly to the farmer and help them, scale these value chains in a more beneficial manner for them.